All right, let's start. Just give me an acknowledge if you can be able to see my screen. Is that my screen is visible to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So as we discussed in the last session, there will be several different team out there, right? So we discussed about the team like system team. We have discussed like network team, endpoint security team. We have like network security team. We have information security team, as well as we discussed that like the SOC team out there. So apart from that, we have some other IT team which are from the application developers, that can be the database engineers, that can be IT helpers. We have the cloud platform, as we can see that most of the assets are there have been getting migrated to the cloud. So there are the different services there on the cloud as well. Correct. So we have something called as a visualization team. We have the vulnerability assessment team in order to find out what type of the vulnerabilities can be there on a different, the asset. It can be the endpoints, it can be the applications, it can be the network. So there are depends upon the requirement. The vulnerability team are going to run the vulnerability scans and find out the loop point. Okay. So there are the several tools are there for the vulnerability assessment, like College. We have Tenable, like Nessus, and so on. So those are the list of tools are there. But in today's session, what we're going to discuss that what are these team and what are their responsibilities are there if they have been working into the IT sector. So we'll walk through with these areas to get you the complete detail how the operations will done. Okay. Is that okay, everyone? My speed and voice and screen, everything is clear. Just give me a quick okay. All good, everyone? Muhammad, Aslam.
Yeah.
Okay. Done. So let's start. When I say the system team, right, or it can be considered as desktop engineers, or it can be considered as the person who's are taking care of endpoints, right? They are good with the troubleshooting for the hardware. It can be the desktops, it can be the laptops. They are good in installing and maintaining the operating systems required for the particular operations. That can be the iOS, or it can be the Linux, or it can be the Windows machines, as we can see that. Uh, they have different applications, where it's required on the project to be done, which are they are going to install. They are going to install and maintain some of the database servers or email server, or file servers. This is the basic requirement from the system team, where they do these operations in day by day. This is how it works. Now, if I talk about the network team, now what exactly the network team are doing it? They are into designing the entire network architecture. They'll see what are the network devices are there, what type of topologies are used based on the compliance, what are dematerialized zones are there, like network segmentations are there. There are many things are there where they plan and design the network architecture. They'll see type of routers, firewalls, and the different type of the switches which can be there on the network, like how they can be get access to on. So overall, we can see they are into installing and maintaining all the network devices by using the routers, switches, access points. It can be like cables and so on. So we know very well, right? Also, there is some network monitoring team out there. They monitor the network. They'll see how the process is going on. Is there any kind of vulnerabilities are there? So they are there into the point of contact where take an actions if anything goes wrong. This is how the network team will work. Then we have something called as a security process, endpoint security. Now, what do you mean by the endpoint, by the way? Anyone? What do you think about the endpoint? Like if I say the endpoint, what do you mean by that?
Endpoint means any device like where we can connect or
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah. So endpoint can be a device which can connect to the network. Correct? This is how
Yeah.
it would be there. So the devices, it can be a laptop, it can be IoT devices, it can be any other desktops and so on. Now, when the endpoints are connecting to the corporate network, If we don't have a proper security for these endpoints, obviously the attack may happen. And through the endpoint, they may take as an entry point and they can go to the main servers or critical asset also, right? Those are the possibilities are there. So that is the reason the endpoint security solutions are very important, and that is designed in order to see how we can protect all the endpoints in the network. That's the user machine. So they install and configure, maintain all the endpoints here. That endpoint can be using the antivirus. We have like EDR setup, like endpoint detections response, XDR, extended this is the detected response also can be there. We have host prevention systems that is also can be used. We have disk encryption, DLP technologies, EDP, EDR, and all those. So this is are nothing but which are used to design the endpoint security solutions. So they'll keep on monitor and see like how these endpoints are working, what type of the activities happening over these endpoints. If anything is going wrong or suspicious or malicious, they get an alert for these technologies, and these alerts need to be get troubleshooted. This is how the process happens. This is how the endpoint security team, which are there in the industry, have been working on the process. We have the network security team. Now,
Sir,
endpoint, yeah,
I had one question. Like, a website can be a endpoint or not?
sorry.
Can a website be a endpoint?
No, website can be considered as an asset, correct? Where the
Asset.
operations are taking on, the business is going on, right? So this is endpoint is also an asset, but that is not an endpoint. That is an application. That is based on the process what we do, like how the operations is carry on over those applications. Based on that, it will be considered. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So we can protect all the network installing and configuration, maintaining like network security solutions. So here comes as the network security solutions like firewalls. As we know, like firewalls is very important to know that how we're going to protect the network, what type of policies we build, right? There are thousands of
Mm-hmm.
policies are there based on the port, based on the services, based on the protocols, based on the IP addresses, based on the predefined patterns, programs, and so on. There are multiple the area of protections which is required, which have been going to done by using the firewalls. Then we have intrusion prevention systems that monitor all the network type of traffic, all the network type of traffic and everything. Then we have like web gateways that check. Web gateway is also been considered as you can see that how the traffic passes over the web, right? So that is also proxy, we can say mostly. The gateways, the web gateways are nothing but kind of proxies. That's the endpoint solutions, right? Whatever the request is sent it, that directly not go to the internet, but it will go to the gateways and through which it will be get filtered and going to be passed over. We have like wireless security, WAP services, which is used for applications to be get secure in the organizations, right? There will be a multiple different type of injections, SQL injections or cross-site scripts and so on. There are different type of attack attempts can be happens to the applications. In order to protect that, we have the WAP services, which call as web applications firewalls. Okay, so this is how the entire network will design, and this is how the network security can be get maintained. Clear? Is that so? Any doubts to here?
No.
Okay. Now, information security. Now, when I say that the information security, this is a complete different team are there. In fact, information security team comes in the part of the GRC. Have you heard about anything about the GRC? Because the governance, risk, and compliance. Governance, risk, and compliance is the process where the all the operations related to the audit, related to the systems, related to the network, which carries out. So they conduct the audit in the system. They draft the different security policies. They are into conducting the user awareness training. They are into taking care of the regularity compliance, which can be adherence to that. So overall, we can see that the GRC is the process of examinations of the entire IT assets. This is how it works. That is called the governance, risk, and compliance. Correct? Is that clear, everybody? If you have
Can you
any
tell me
doubt,
again?
yeah, sure. let me tell you that. Let's say that we have certain assets, right? So if I say that there are the certain asset lists we have it. So these asset lists, if we can see that, right? So these assets are there like endpoints. It can be the network devices, right? So we have the different network devices we have it, and also we have something called as an application, right? We have other network security devices as well, right? Now, when I talk about the IT audit, are there to examine how these have been working. IT audit will be done to find out what are the weakness, what are the vulnerabilities are there, right? So they need to match with the regularities. They need to match with all the configurations and everything with the compliance that is all okay or not. If not, then that need to be get take that patch and they need to work on that. Okay. So there are the different type of auditors are there. We have internal auditor, and also we have some external auditors. So external auditors, we can be considered that, when I say that the external auditor, so which are responsible for doing it, they are from some external bodies we have it. Okay. So they'll take the samples and they do the audit, and based on that, they get the report or certification, right? So it depends upon it, what type of audit we are going with. Let's say that ISO 2700. Have you ever heard about this?
Yes.
So this is our based on certificate. Okay. It's for the brand awareness, right? We know that. But also you might may have heard about the PCI DSS. Have you ever heard about that?
No.
Payment card industry data security standards. Okay. So this is not the certificate basis. It depends upon the report basis. Okay. So like these, there are the different audits will be done. They have certain key requirements, and these requirements need to be get filled. And these have been getting filled by the information security team. Now you got my point. Is that clear?
Mm. Mhm.
Okay. So here we see that the audit is the process of examinations, evaluations of all the assets, taking certain samples. They understand what frequency the data backup is going on, what type of data storage are there, where the data is getting stored, are been there to with the policies or not. Drafting the security policies are nothing but is making up the user to be get adherence to the compliance, right? What are the regularities, compliance? They have all the checklists which has to be get followed based on that. User awareness training. Now, user awareness training is kind of training which need to be get conducted in a in the month of 3 months quarterly or like 6 months or 1 year. So that will be the training towards the employees. Are they aware about the cyber attack? What type of attack happens? Like what they do if this attack happens? If the phishing attack happens, what they're going to do it. If it is a ransomware attack, it happens, what they're going to do it. If any malware attack happens, what they're going to do it. So some basic knowledge about using these corporate machines, and they get awareness about the cyber attack which is going on. So that can be a security for the organization's assets. This is how the information security will are going to conduct there. Got it?
Mm.
Okay. Now we have the vulnerability assessment team. So there is a separate team are there which are going to use some scanning tools. Okay, that can be the college, that can be something called as Tenable, Nexus. So these are the some of the tools are the Rapid7. So these vulnerability tools are used to scan the entire network, endpoints, applications, how they work on it. So once they scan, we get a report for this. So they analyze that report, work with the various team to fix those vulnerabilities here. So what are the services need to be get test that list will get, and the vulnerability assessment team are going to work on that. And if anything is required, they're going to update that. They do the patching on that. This is how the vulnerability assessment team will work. Got it?
So, yeah. So basically, we are learning how different I teams actually work in the IT industry. All
In
right.
security, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
taking
Okay.
through with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we need to know, right? This is very important when we start a career
Mm-hmm.
in cyber security. If somebody says that, there is a vulnerability assessment team are there are going to give you the report, then what they do, how they work, you must know about that. Endpoint security team, what they're doing, like how they're going to build those securities for the endpoint. That is again Very important. So we're going to discuss that all in detail and get understand how this process will work. Okay.
Yes.
So this is how the vulnerability assessment team are working on. Then comes to the identity access management. Now, identity access management, they create, manage, and identity access rights of the people's employee and customers. It's simple way, like, what type of rights you have. Are you a power user, or you are a normal user, or you a admin user? They are the control, right? Based on the user account, they get the privilege to get and access the services. If you're an admin, so you have a full access. You can create the user, you can delete the user, you can modify the users, all those can be done. But the normal user don't have that much privilege to do that, correct? So this is how the access will be there. We have something called as the IEEE, which called as an identification, authentication, authorizations, and accountability. So what are those are important things are there which have been done by the IM2. So overall, they create the user account, password reset, granting and access. All these will be there with the one team called as an IMT, Identity Access and Management team, which have been taken care of. Now, next, if I'll take you to that, the SOC team. As we know very well about the SOC operations, we discussed that the SOC team are going to monitor, detect, investigate, and respond to the cyber threat. So they are continuously 24 by 7, 365 days. They keep us an eye. They monitor all the assets, what type of activities happening on these assets. If there's anything goes wrong, they are going to detect those. They're going to investigate on that and going to respond to that. They'll define that first, that is a cyber threat or not. If it's a cyber threat, what action needs to be done? If not, what action needs to be done? All together, they are going to process. Overall, we can say that they work with the different SMEs, subject matter expert team, to remediate the security incident if it has taken place. They use the tools called as a SIM, Security Information Event Management. We have SOAR, that is the kind of automations we'll do it. Security Architect Automation Response. We have threat intelligence tools. We have like analysis tools. So these are the different type of the tools and technologies that need to be used by the SOC team in order to take action on the particular alert which is generated. Now, if you ask me how these alerts can be generated, right? These are the most common things which we need to know, that how the alerts will generate. Alerts are generated based on the correlation rules. It's kind of set up. It kind of set a certain type of like conditions. They correlate all the events and define one conditions, and based on that, the alert will generate. And these alerts need to be get investigated. Got it? Is that clear?
Can you give me an example?
Yeah. Also, see, uh, let's imagine a situation. We are monitoring Windows server, right? So there is a Windows server. Okay. Windows server, we keep on monitor, right? What we monitor here? Obviously,
Logs,
we monitor the log or the events which are generated,
events.
right?
Yeah, event ID.
Now,
Yeah.
now there is one user who log in. Actually his base location is United States, okay? But he log in from India. Let's imagine a
Hmm.
situation. There's a user who done the login attempt from India, right? So if these
Hmm.
login attempts happens from India, we need to generate an alert for these, right? Because the
Hmm.
company conditions are there. Let's imagine a situation. If somebody are getting login from outside the country, they need to investigate on it. They already predefined it. So how we get
Hmm.
these alerts? Until unless we not define the conditions. If we not define condition, we won't get anything.
Hmm.
So there is a
Hmm.
set of conditions, okay, that need to be get
Hmm.
defined in the SIM tool in order to get these alerts. Okay. These process we call as the correlation. Now we say that
Okay.
if login success happens, let's say that if login success happens, okay. So somebody have done the login success. That is not from the home country. Let's say that that is not from United States. Okay. This is not equal to United States. Okay. So if this is
Hmm.
not happens from United States, so login success happens from any country, we get an alert here, right? It's just
Hmm.
a simple
Hmm.
idea to get you understand. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So like these, there
Got
are
it.
the several type of set of conditions that need to be get defined in order to get an alert. Got it?
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. So this is how it works, and this is how the actions need to be taken here. The SOC operation team is a centralized team that takes are the system team, network team, endpoint security team. We can see the network security team, right? All these teams are there. Am I clear?
Yep.
Okay. So this is how the SOC operations will work. But let me tell you that because it is completely focused on the SOC operations and their activities here, right? So I want you to just understand this how it works and what are things that happen. Okay. So here we see that the evolution of SOC. I want you to take you before SOC what happens, after SOC what it will be. So let's understand this in a very detailed manner. So where you'll get a complete picture. Okay, this is how the operations will work. So if I'll say you that in the past year 2008 2010, there was a malware called as a stucknet. Okay, this is designed like mostly people consider that is as the first cyber weapon, which is designed to bring down Iran's nuclear power plant by the America and Israel. They together have designed and they try to make it this down. This is what consider first. But what is the intention to explain you here? This is a very big
Did it
project, but
work?
yes, it works by using the PCIs and so on. They are the different type of PLC affected happens. So this attack has
Hmm.
done in the past, right? So, but
Hmm.
what is my intention to explain you here that so you can go to the Wikipedia and can learn about this. Type the Starknet and that is to the Iran nuclear power plant. So you get the complete information about that, how that is work. So overall, this is a very big project, but nobody is there to monitor or take care of it. Not only this, but there are there different several companies are there in the past which the attack happens. Sony Pictures, the hackers
Yeah, I
group,
know
which is
about this.
right. It happens, and they have seen
Yeah.
the confidential data from film
Yeah.
studio
By the
Sony Pictures.
ransomware.
Yeah. So there is also from Yahoo. There is attack happens to the Visa, attack happens to Subway, attack happens to the Target, and so on. There are different type of attack happens at this time. These are the global market. These are international brands, and they are affecting with the cyber attack. So everybody is worried about it. What is there? Who is safe in the internet when these attacks is happening? So for that, they started taking out the solutions for them. And what is that solution? There's some finding that whenever the attack happens, it takes the companies to detect almost 200 days to detect any attack. This is the one loop point. The second thing is that at the beginner, the attackers are indicating that attack is going to be happens like 3 months before, 80 days before, 90 days before, but nobody is there to focus on that. They don't get any kind of notifications. 70% of time the attacks are detected by an external entity. Approximately 70% time the attacks are detected by an external entity. What does it mean by that? Let me give you an example. Imagine a situation on your bank account, there is certain illegal transactions happen. Might be, right? It might be possible at this. Somebody have taken certain amount from your account, right? So at this point, if somebody have taken certain amount from your account, what you're going to do? What would be your first step here?
I didn't hear it.
See, Muhammad, imagine a situation, some illegal
Hmm.
transactions happens on your account. Okay.
Hmm.
Somebody have taken certain amount from your account. Okay. You have not share OTP, you not scan any type of any type of applications or any QR code, but still we saw that there is some illegal transaction happens on your account. So what would
Hmm.
be the first step? What you're going to do?
The first step would be the internal reason. I will go to someone who is internally connected with that. I mean, who is.
In generally, we go to the bank and complain, right? This is
Yeah.
happening.
Yep. Yep.
Correct or not?
Yeah. 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 Yes.
Now,
Yes.
I mean to say you that, like, whenever some illegal transaction happens, first thing is that we call the bank and will report that there is
Yeah.
something has happened, block my card and take an action. I don't know from where it has
Mm.
happened. And you will need the
Mm.
justifications why it has happened. Correct or not?
Yes.
Now you report it to the bank, right? Now, once you report it to the bank is going to investigate this. And once the bank is going to investigate, then they get to know that there is some vulnerabilities are there is some weakness are there in the server where this attack is taken place. You got my point. So what I want
Mm.
you to understand that banks don't have any security system where they're going to monitor that until unless they're reported by some customer that they got fraud for certain things, then they are taking an action. You got my point.
Yes.
So SOC was not there. So at that time, attack are detected by an external entity most of the time. Means like people report, then they'll get to know. So now you
Mm-hmm.
understand how important SOC is that. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So that is how, like, the SOC is taken place. If we can see this use case, the attack executed in the month of April and detected in the month of November and initiated in the month of January. So this is the use case. With the help of this, what we understood that the root cause analysis says that lack of visibility. We don't know
So
what is happening. Yeah.
okay, I have one question. Like for one bank, millions of people has been registered for only one bank. So how only one SOC team will analyze millions of people's data?
See, when I'll tell you that when we are monitoring millions of people or the subscribers over the process, the SOC team
Mhm.
have the department which is designed. Somebody's are taking care of the internal security. Somebody's are taking like asset lists are there. What we call that is we call as an asset list. Let me give you an example.
Sorry for the interruption.
No, it's okay, completely okay. Are you able to see this here?
Yes.
What we have endpoints, right? Endpoints can be considered as workstations, desktop. It can be like smart mobile, IoT devices, network devices. We have servers, right? There are the different servers. So this is can be considered as like one of like asset list, right? We have like applications. We have a different type of databases. We have the cloud services. We have regularity compliance and so on. So we can see that these are the asset list we have it. So when the team are monitoring these, so every team have these asset lists distributed on their work role what asset they are monitoring. You got my point?
Mm.
Okay. So they have been involved with the certain project and certain like the defined asset list which they need to take care of it. Okay. So the logs
Mm.
which are been generating that is going to the SIM and these team like correlate that SIM will correlate those activities and give us an alert.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So this is how like the team are working and this is how the operations will happen, right? So when we are seeing that there is the software which are taking care of like these operations and they'll handle like things whatever they need to do it here. So we can see that the root cause analysis says that there is a lack of visibility. So in order to come with these issues, we have like the continuous monitoring. The SOC team need to continuously monitor and see what type of activity is happening. And if anything is suspicious, they take an action here. So what they're going to monitor here, as we discussed that, they're going to monitor the logs. They are a different type of logs they monitor. And these logs are generating from the system, servers, security solutions, and is also generating from the network devices. So there are the several assets are there where we are collecting these data. So these logs come from multiple systems, right? We can see the system, security solutions, we can see the network devices. The challenge is that they're not easy to read because the application log have a different type of format. Linux have a different type of format. Windows have a different type of format. Is that clear or not? We know that every device have their own syntax to generate the logs, right?
Yes.
So these logs are not easy to read clearly. So for that, we have the same. Again, we can see the logs are huge. That's are coming 25 million logs per day. But it depends upon the asset list we can see that. We have 300 logs per second. These are the possible things are there. So overall, we can see that the same is a security information and event management tool, which are going to collect the data from these multiple assets, and that is going to send to the SIM, and SIM are going to give us the suspicious activity. So the logs are generating, and they are doing certain process called as a normalization. We'll discuss that, the different type of architecture, how it works, and how the data flow. Everything will have in detail process where the SIM do these operations, and based on that, the suspicious activities will be detected here. Okay. So overall, we see that the problem is that the logs are huge. The root cause, they are not easy to read it. The solution is SIM. SIM makes easy to understand all these logs. They take those logs into the common format where we can understand. Either it can be from the firewall, either it can be from the network device, either it can be from the endpoint. We can see that might be a multiple devices are there through which we are collecting the data. So this SIM is giving the complete solutions here.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'll say that the real life analogy, how it happens, as we can see that when we are setting this SOC operations, how it should be done. We know that, the many people met with an accident. The problem is that they're not following the traffic rules. They're not wearing the helmet. They're not maintaining the speed. They're not wearing the seat belt. The solution is that they should do this process, right? The similar way with this use case, if we'll say that to do normally to the people will not do it until unless they have certain rules here. The rules has been done by the enforcement. We know that, like in India, we call it an RTO. In UK, we call it the Department of Vehicle Motor, vehicle license agencies, and in USA, we call it the Department of Motor Vehicle. So if you not follow the rules, you're going to get the fine. Then the people are going to follow the rules, right? This is very simple and general. The same way in the world of cyber security, also we have the rules enforcement, the regularity compliance, which are industry best practice. What they do that we have like PCI DSS, we have like GDPR, HIPAA. So these are some of process which made it security should be get monitored continuously. This is how it works. So the security monitoring are mandatory for the entire asset to be get protect, or they are being going to get the fine if they are not going to follow those areas here. Okay,
So whether the
this is how.
company is small or large, it doesn't matter. Every company has to follow
Yes,
this
if they are the
rules.
compliance, if they are the compliance
Mhm.
with the GDPR, HIPAA, PCI DSS, because these are the critical business opportunities and the operations which are going on, right? So for that reason, they need to keep its eye on everything what is happening on these assets. Correct?
Yes. So this has been enforced by the government.
Yes. Some of the from the government, some of the regularities complaints from private, but they are the standard in the industry practice, right, where
Mhm.
they've been working.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
So we see that the team will make use of the same tools for the security monitoring, I call as the SOC team, and the person who work under the SOC is called the SOC analyst. So what usually they do it? So they are into monitoring, detecting, and responding to the all the incident which is generated. So they are the first line of cyber defense. They keep ears to the organization security. They monitor, detect, investigate, and respond to the cyber threat whenever it happens. So they take an action here. Okay. This is how it works. So how these actions can be done? So we see that the SOC team which monitor alerts. So once the alert comes, they analyze these alerts, and these alerts need to get decide is it legitimate or bad. If it is a bad, they ignore. Like if it is a legitimate, they ignore it. If it is a bad, they need to take an action here. So these actions, if the bad is reported, the team needs to correlate those actions. Either it can be the incoming attack or either it can be the outgoing attack. So based on that, the response need to be done. Now, as if it is an incoming attack, that they need to interact with the team and stop doing those bad activities and apply some policies here that they should not do these type of activities again that lead to be a cyber crime. I believe you got that.
Yes.
Okay. So this is how, this is how the operations will take place. So overall, this is our the basic discussions what we have done to get you overall idea about this. So next session, which been going to be the start from the actual sessions from networking till just to walk through about how the security systems work. Okay. So Miss Nath will give you the update about the next sessions, what would be the class because we have Eid in between. So we decide the exact time and date, and then we'll proceed with it. Okay. So please do contact with Miss Nath. We'll update you about the regarding the classes. And these videos for 2 classes will upload, and you'll get an access recording of these videos. Okay.
From where we can get those recorded video?
Yes, you will get the link. Nath will send you those links. Okay.
Mhm. Okay. Also, sir, do we are gonna implement any project in this
Yes,
course?
yes, yes. We're going to do everything is in live projects and
Mhm.
working into the same environment in the industry. We build the same tools, we collect the data and so on.
Mhm. Also, I have one question. Like, I'm doing my masters in cybersecurity,
Hmm.
and this semester is my dissertation year. So I wanted to actually do something that is related to the SOC analyst in the dissertation. So,
Hmm.
can you suggest me anything that can be related or that can help me in the future?
Yeah, yeah, sure. I'll tell you how we can set up or we can do it something with the live. I'll tell you that all. Okay?
Okay, okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Right. Any other questions if anybody has it, please feel free to ask. Okay, well. Thank you. Take care. Bye.